Hello and welcome to the Art Market podcasts. Today I'm going to be talking to artist Lucy Gell. Hello Lucy, how are you?
Hello, I'm good, yes.
Now for the listeners, can you tell us a little bit about your background and how you began as an artist?
It all started when I went to university and I studied illustration, graphic design. But then I decided, from a very young age, I wanted to pursue a career as an animator just because I was inspired by television programs like Magic Roundabout and various things like that. So that was my lifelong ambition. So I pursued that after graduating, and I worked for a company in Manchester called Cosgrove Hall Films, where I worked initially as a puppet maker for about 3 years. And then I was fortunate enough to become an animator after a 3-month intensive training course. But alongside that, I was doing lots of design work for a greeting card company down in Brighton called Robot Design. And then as well as that, I went and did an evening course in printmaking because I wanted to do some stuff for me personally. And that's where it all began. I just added one little print of a seagull, and that was it. I was hooked.
Wow.
And I haven't stopped since. Printmaking now for just over 10 years.
What was that like then, that transition, going from a full-time job and then beginning your life as a freelance illustrator?
Well, there was some other kind of factors into that. I mean, part of the reason why I stopped animating was because I had twins. So I made the decision to be a full-time mum. But when they were 12 months old, I went back to the printmaking, and I would go to a studio up in Rottenstall in North Manchester, and I would do a printmaking for the day. And, over a sort of 5 or 6 year period, I just built up my knowledge of printmaking. I also went down to Falmouth College of Art and did a couple of summer schools down there, so learned how to screen print. And, that's where it all kind of began, really. And then, I started to produce images that my friends liked, and I thought, I might be able to sell these. And that's kind of how it happened, really.
So you've kind of grown with your business organically and gained confidence that way. I mean,
Gain confidence that way, yeah.
Yeah, what would be the advice that you'd give somebody else starting out? Yeah, with printmaking and with starting your own art business, because I think it's one thing thinking about having an art business, but it's another thing actually doing it and then making it successful, because there's so many different layers to a business, isn't there?
Yeah, I would say that you've got to, stay true to yourself, produce the kind of work that you feel says something about you. I think it is good to kind of try and think commercially as well. And when you know something works, and I find that some of the images that sell the best for me are the most simple ones that I find to produce, but that's not the case for everybody. And obviously my work it's very kind of character based, and I suppose that's because of my animation background, because I would have a puppet and I would have to give that puppet a personality, so I'd have to animate it and make it come alive, and that's the kind of thing that I do with my drawings. So I can't just draw a cat. It has to have a cat with personality or a bear with personality. And I find that the people that buy my work are, they look at the images and they get the same kind of feeling that I get from them.
With your process, then it's come from there. So there's a lot more to it, isn't there? It's a lot more in depth as you're actually creating a character.
I actually kind of draw a parallel between the animation work and the printmaking, because one thing I found when I was a student was I was sort of obsessed with kind of drawing an image and then enlarging it and playing around with it, and I wish in some ways I'd discovered printmaking then, because it's a process that you go through to get the finished item, and it's the same as animation. You move the puppet frame by frame to create a scene, and it's the same with printmaking. But also with printmaking, not just one image, it's an addition. So you never actually ever give away your original image, because I always retain that. And I think that's one thing that I've never been able to kind of feel comfortable with painting, because you paint a picture and then you sell it and it's gone, and I need to keep hold of these images because they're very personal to me.
Have you ever thought about animating your drawings?
Oh yeah, definitely. But it's just like how many hours are in the day. I have 3 children, and twins of 9, and another one that's 6. So there's only so many. There's only so many things I can do, and I'd like to do that. I mean, when I was working as a puppet animator, because obviously that was traditional stop frame animation, I actually learned how to use to do flash animation, which is more of a 2-dimensional type of animating. So I could do that with my work, but I think that'll come with time. I think it's just about. For me, it's just about producing the images that people want to buy, really.
So who inspires you?
Wow, as a child, I would say that my main influence was probably Richard Scarry, who was, I think he was American, and he did a lot of children's books that I spent a lot of my childhood looking at. And he did the same kind of thing as me, where the characters become almost slightly human. So, and he did the same kind of thing. And then people like Quentin Blake, and there are people that influence me now.
Have you ever thought about doing a children's book, seeing as you've got 3 children?
I'd love to, yeah, I'd love to. And master plan is to actually just sort of do it myself, especially after producing the bear images. That's something I'd really like to do, yes.
I think that could be one of your products. It'd be brilliant.
Yeah, I think I need to kind of get this sort of busy time of showtime out of the way, and then concentrate on things like that when it's quieter, beginning of the year.
You're at the art market at the weekend, so what can we expect to see there?
I've been doing some new prints of whippets.
Ooh.
I've done lots of new 3-dimensional bird cards. So the last time I was at the art market, I just had an owl card and a blackbird. This time I've got a puffin and a wood pigeon. So I'm going to have quite a few things like that. I'm just going to continue with the 3-dimensional birds, because I like making them. At the moment, I'm just printing them out myself and cutting them out, and I make all the wire legs. But I'm actually going to start having them printed and laser cut, because then it means that I can spend more time on producing actual prints as opposed to making bird cards.
Yeah. No, I think you've got a really nice range, and it's like you say, you can tell by the personality. You can see a personality behind it, which I think it's really important. But you've been doing a lot of shows, haven't you, just recently? So how do you keep it fresh?
Well, as I say, I think that the important thing is to do the new work at the beginning of the year. And to be honest, I'm producing new stuff all the time, because I'll go and do a show, and somebody will say something to me, which I'll think, yeah, I'll do that. And, I can actually produce a new bird card within a sort of 2-week period. And again, the prints, it's constant, it's constantly evolving.
And you do get ideas when you're doing events as well, like
Oh, yeah, all the time, because people say to me, do you do pigs, do you do goats? And you think, yes, I'm going to do a goat, I'm definitely going to do a goat.
It's good when you get that relationship. I think that's what's good about the art market, is that the customers get to meet the artist, gets to meet the maker, and also you get to meet the customer, and you have conversations, and they feed you ideas, and I just think it's really nice. You get that kind of relationship with one another.
I really enjoy the direct selling. I love meeting people that want to buy the work, and it's always nice to have repeat customers coming back.
So you've done the art market twice now, haven't you? What do you love about the art market?
I just think it's a really lovely event. I love the fact that where it's set, the fact that you've got live music playing. There's such a fantastic variety of other designer makers there. There's always something that I want to buy. I think also the networking as well. I mean, you get to know each other. you help each other out. People suggest other events that you might be able to do. And also, out of the 2 art markets that I've done, I've had 3 galleries wanting my work. So I've got my work up in a gallery in St Abbs in Scotland at the moment. And I've got my work in a gallery in Leeds. So yes, it's great.
That's fantastic. The gallery in Scotland, they came all the way, didn't they, to the art market, which was wonderful.
Yeah. Well, the couple, I think, that own the gallery, it's the number 4 gallery in St Abbs. They actually originally were from Sheffield, but they are both artists themselves. And they bought from people that exhibit at the art market before.
So where can we find your work?
You can have a look at my work on my website, which is www.lucygel.com. You can also see my work on my Facebook page. And I exhibit regularly in the Pavilion Gardens in Buxton. So I do the Worcestershire Guild Designer Craftsmen shows down in Malvern twice a year.
I'm looking forward to seeing you at the art market this weekend, and thank you so much for doing the interview. See you at the art market. Thank you.
Well, thank you for having me, and I look forward to seeing you at the weekend.
If you would like to know more about the art markets, go to www.artmarkets.co.uk. The art markets will be happening this weekend on the 22nd of June from 8 till 10 p.m. for the preview night, and also the 23rd from 10 till 4. It will continue on to the next weekend on the 29th of June from 8 to 10 p.m. and also on Sunday the 30th of June from 10 till 4. We look forward to seeing you there. Thank you for listening.